Oh, true! I never even talked about that on stream. Thanks for reminding me. Jackson Mahomes got arrested. You remember this goober? Hold on. The brother of Patrick Mahomes who tries his absolute best to ride his brother's meat and just try and, like, absorb some of his fame and attention just through proximity. So Jackson Mahomes, all he does is, like, shitty TikTok dances. So, like, during the Super Bowl, he after they won, he went on the field and just filmed like 3 different TikTok dancing videos, like, doing all of this shit on the field. He does it in front of his brother. He tries to rope his brother into it. It's all super cringe, but it's not illegal to be cringe. What is illegal though is what he got caught on camera doing. Oh, they don't have the video here. Well, I probably couldn't show it on Twitch anyway because it's a fucking sexual assault case, but basically a camera caught him. It's hard. A camera caught him with a woman, and he takes her by the neck, leans her back, and forcibly kisses her. And she's like squirming to get away. He eventually lets go, and she does. And then she's like trying her best to like awkwardly laugh it off. And then he comes back and does the same shit again, grabs her by the neck, leans her back, kisses her again, and she reported it, and it was all captured on camera. So now he's facing charges for that. And he's maintaining that that's like, you're missing the context. We have video that disproves what she's saying, which is going to be a crazy video to somehow excuse, like, grabbing her neck and leaning her back where it's clear she doesn't really want that at all. So I don't know what the fuck they have that's going to somehow disprove that. That would be crazy. That would be a wild plot twist. But yeah, it's just a context play. I imagine what they're gonna try and say is that the lady was like hitting on Jackson all night, and this was all like consensual and a setup, which I feel like anyone who watches that video wouldn't really get that impression, like at all. She was the bar owner. Well, I don't see what that has to do with the actual case itself. What? But yeah, I mean, she was the bar owner. I don't see why that matters, though. It's not really pertinent to what he did. It's not like, yeah, she's the bar owner, which means I can fucking strangle her and kiss her. And she was his friend's stepmom. Oh, I actually forgot about that part. Yeah. She's also the stepmom of one of his friends, which is even fucking weirder. That's even more foul. It's a he said, she said, but they have video. Plus, he has a good lawyer, so they'll try and say she consented. I have no doubt they're gonna settle out of court. There's too much money in the Mahomes family name. They will settle out of court for some kind of crazy undisclosed amount, no doubt. But yeah, I mean, there is at least video to corroborate her side where it's like she didn't want that to happen. It wasn't consensual, and it was pretty fucking weird. Because again, the video's out there. It really doesn't look like it was something she was asking for in any way. Eventually, I feel like Patrick will disown him if he continues. Yeah, it's just such a hard thing to do because it's his fucking brother. So there's like that blood obligation to him. It's hard for him to just cold turkey cut him off like that. But Patrick doesn't really play with him. Like he did, like there's a video on Jackson Mahomes' TikTok where they're out at dinner. Like a whole big group of them are out at dinner. Jackson and Patrick are sitting side by side. And Jackson just gets up and films a TikTok dance next to his brother. And his brother is doing everything in his power to try and just look away from him and pretend it's not happening. Like it really seems like Patrick knows his brother is like a fucking loser. Thanks to Resub Reese. Show us that video? Sure. I saw it on Jamari's coverage of the situation, so I'll go to his video for it. Jackson Mahomes' TikTok has literally like thousands of these things, so it's hard to scrub through and find them all.
Jackson Mahomes.
It does have to be where is that clip? I know it's in here somewhere. I don't remember where. It does have to be an unbearable feeling to be so buried in your brother's shadow that you can never see the sun. His brother is an extremely talented athlete, and meanwhile Jackson got none of those gifts. Like, that does have to be a miserable existence. This is the security camera footage. I don't think I can play it on Twitch. Where the fuck is the clip of him dancing next to his brother? Is it in here?
Was exhibiting unparalleled levels of entitlement.
Being cringe wasn't a crime, but the sexual battery maybe. He's also a terrible dancer. Well, he can't dance. He just takes the TikTok shit and tries to emulate it, but he can't do it well. He actually just has no talent, unfortunately. His brother took all of it and left him nothing. Left him nothing. Man's actually physically gifted. He's not bad at b-ball. He's tall as shit. I haven't seen him playing basketball, though. I feel like if he was actually good at basketball, he would have been posting some b-ball clips on TikTok, so that way people would stop clowning on him from doing nothing but shitty dancing that 9-year-olds do. But I mean, he's tall. Like, he should be good at basketball. If he has any level of athleticism like his brother, he should be good at basketball. He quit basketball to do TikTok. Oh, that's the saddest shit of all time, if you're being honest. Oh no, oh no. Oh, I hope you're just kidding. Yeah. I mean, why try and succeed when you can TikTok off the Mahomes name? Well, the saddest part of that is he's not even succeeding on that front either. Like, his TikTok engagement isn't bad by any means, but it's not like he can live off it. It's fucking TikTok, and he hasn't been able to branch out into anything else. He just has a couple of 10-second TikTok dances that he does at, like, the Super Bowl because his brother's so good. So he just does a TikTok dance there, and people laugh at him for it. He doesn't get, like, I haven't seen him do any sponsors or anything. Like, I actually think he just suckles on Patrick Mahomes' bosom. Like, Patrick gives him handouts, and it keeps him going. I don't know what kind of shirt he's wearing, but it looks like that apron you get when you get a haircut. You're not wrong. That is quite an observation. His dad was a professional baseball player for many teams. Oh, I've never actually looked up the Mahomes, like, family. What was it? Their dad also super good? What the fuck? I didn't know that. Who's their dad? Oh yeah. Wait, he's Pat Mahomes the second. The first was Patrick Mahomes, the professional MLB pitcher. I mean, he's not like a Hall of Famer by any means, but wow, wait, yeah, they were just born millionaires, huh? Jackson could have been an athlete, but he's just a lazy coomer. I don't know about the coomer claim. Maybe lazy, if chat's being honest about him quitting basketball for the sake of TikTok clout, or quitting his sports for TikTok shit. Maybe. That's always the saddest thing to me. There was, on our basketball team, we had one guy in particular who actually probably could have played super high-level ball, but he just hated practice and refused to put any work into it, so he just dropped it. For no fucking reason, just fucking dropped it. And I'll never understand wasted potential when you have a gift like that to not pursue it. I don't know. It's just so shameful. Shameful is the wrong word because obviously do what makes you happiest, but at least try and fully realize the potential. Like, please. I don't know. Why force something? Yeah, like I said, if it doesn't make them happy, I guess there's no reason to force it. But it's just always such a big question mark. Like, I feel like it'd always be a question mark. Like, where could this have taken me? I don't know what they're doing now. I have no idea. I just know they did not continue with basketball. Maybe they got equal talent in other thing. Maybe what they're doing now, they're fucking prodigy at. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. That is true. A couple months ago, there was a massive story that blew up and became more popular and more well known than the Bible for like a week or two. It was a police cheating scandal where a woman was accused of cheating on her husband with multiple officers on the force, and they were going hog wild at like the headquarters while on duty, at the gym, also having girls gone wild style hot tub parties or something. You would have been hard pressed to find a location they weren't having sex in. There was more DNA throughout that headquarters than at a goddamn sperm bank. You could have cloned all of the officers with all of that. I bet if you brought a blacklight to the headquarters, you would have had that shit lit up like it was a game of Splatoon. And she kind of became the face of cheating for a little while, like the mascot for extramarital affairs. This story actually had a pretty big plot twist not too long ago where she came out and said that everything isn't as it appears. She was actually groomed into it and forced into it. I don't think there's been any updates since that statement came out, but that's kind of where the story's at. And now the same thing is happening yet again at a different department. It really seems like police headquarters are like frat houses at this point. So let's go over this news story where a 911 dispatcher is accused of sexting with 7 men and having an affair with at least 2 of them. And some of the text messages have been released, and holy shit, the amount of refined, pure cringe is admirable. Just to give you the quick and dirty, a 911 dispatcher has been caught sexting 7 other officers while being married herself. Some of the officers are also married, so it's a big, wild, wacky web of cheating that's unfolded here, and 3 of them are being put up for potential termination as a result of all of this. It's still unclear if a lot of the affairs and all of that shit were happening while on duty, like on the clock, though it does appear to be the case occasionally. So definitely a not great situation here. So now let's dive in and take a closer look at what's been said and exactly what was going on.
According to Sheriff Javier Salazar, the employees deny having sex or doing anything inappropriate while on duty. However, 2 spouses who shared the texts with Internal Affairs and with News 4 claim the messages show otherwise.
The shamelessness to not only cheat but then deny that it happened in the face of overwhelming evidence is almost comical. It'd be like me trying to deny that I'm 5'6", or trying to say that my cat Io isn't the cutest goddamn thing in the world when you can clearly see that not only is she the cutest cat in the world, but I'm 5'6". There's no getting around that fact. There's just not a whole lot of wiggle room for this to be some kind of misunderstanding or a lie, because the spouses are the ones that came forward with all of the information and all of the text messages, which is a heartbreaking betrayal, but it is pretty much put in the books as a fact that the sexting is real, as are the affairs. So I believe they're trying to now deny that it happened on duty as opposed to just denying that it happened in general.
Overnight 911 dispatcher Crystal Perez has been placed on unpaid administrative leave, along with Bexar County Sheriff Sergeant Ronaldo Salinas and Deputy Juan Leal. All 3 have received notices of proposed termination.
So it seems the only thing Crystal was dispatching was officers to her pussy. She was reporting a vaginal emergency, and luckily the boys in blue knew exactly how to solve this problem. With penis. Fucking heroes. Now, she was sexting with about 5 other officers, but these 2 are the ones that are kind of in the hot seat at the moment because they believe the behavior was so egregious that they need to take disciplinary action against those 2, as well as, of course, Crystal herself.
Many of the texts are too explicit for us to share.
But just explicit enough for me to share. I like that. That's how you make me feel. Not sure how it is for you. I feel so hot and sexy when I'm in you. Also kind of blundered the spelling on you there, because I'm pretty sure he's typing with one hand. Fuck yeah, you do. I can feel it. All of it. And I love it. I understand that it's always laughable looking at someone's sexting. It's one of those things that is always going to be just fucking goofy. But this feels like a whole nother level of embarrassing. Like, just the way that it starts there. I feel so hot and sexy when I'm in you. Brother, what kind of emotional Twilight level shit is that? What? When I'm inside your warm crevice, I feel like such a man. Like, I almost expected him to start, trauma dumping right after that. Prior to your moist hole, the only thing that I would get inside was the couch cushions, and you fill me with so much more purpose down there. And then her response is just as fucking silly. I can feel it. All of it. Yeah, I hope so. I fucking hope so. I hope you're not just numb, and I hope my cock isn't so goddamn skinny and small that you wouldn't even know it's there. Yeah, I fucking hope you would be able to feel it. We need another hotel day. Yes, with like 1,000 exclamation points. Non-stop for as long as possible. When do you go back to nights? Friday. So they're looking at non-stopping on this one. This is gonna be non-stop nutting on a hotel day, I guess. So that way they could both feel so hot and sexy. Of course, I can't wait for more time to open up so I can fill us in. More like have them fill you in. Am I right, Crystal? Yes, baby. I can't wait. And then I can lay on you and kiss you all over. Like, all over? Caps lock? Duh. It actually seems like I'm reading some kind of high school fanfic. Like, this is so bad. This is a 38-year-old woman or something like that, and the other officers aren't much younger, and they're texting like this. Yeah, I was almost expecting the next set of messages to start with, Crystal, I like you. And then she'd be like, alright, I'm booking a hotel so you can fuck me silly. That was so romantic. I can't wait for us to be naked and us caressing each other, then kissing each other all over. Caps lock again. He's just really blown away with the all over statement. Like his mind has gone fucking blank. He's like a cartoon character. His like eyes have popped out of his head going, awooga. And then she says, fuck yes. And then on Tuesday, thinking of my daddy and this kisses. And then on Thursday, she sends I don't know what that is, a picture of a mobile game high score. I'm not really sure. But she also kind of gets ghosted there. She sends some shit on Tuesday about thinking about daddy, and he just doesn't even reply. He's probably too busy with his wife and kids to reply in time, but yeah.
I can't wait for us to be naked and us caressing each other and then kissing each other all over. Perez, expletive, yes.
She was loving my life, and it was very distraught, heartbreaking. I was in disbelief.
I really feel horrible for her husband as well as the other spouses of the officers involved. That's just the ultimate betrayal. That shit absolutely fucking sucks. And he's having a very normal reaction to it, heartbreak, talking about how difficult this whole situation has been. So he learned from the text messages that his wife is not only a cheater but also cringe. And there's really no fixing this kind of situation for a marriage, so I imagine a divorce is on its way.
The dispatcher's husband, Giancarlo Perez, discovered texts between his wife and 6 sheriff's deputies, plus a City of Converse police officer. In December, he gave them to Internal Affairs, and an investigation was opened.
They use emojis to reference body parts, and they would talk about, kissing.
I miss your lips. My lips miss you. What the fuck? Like, all of these officers just keep saying, like they're talking to fucking Minecraft villagers or something. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this isn't even like sexting anymore. This is like actually AI trying to flirt with other AI. I don't understand.
Making out and all these, like I said, just sexual connections.
But during the week, I am gonna be checked to see if I can meet you for a smooches. Like, daily going to check. So if there is a day no good, better to say something now. You remember those Facebook posts from people, like, horny posting on Facebook, like, bitch lasagna, pussy make cock go woohoo, like that kind of shit? That is actually the same energy that these sex messages have.
Perez took screenshots of the text from his wife's phone, and many of the timestamps are missing, so it's not clear.
Oh boy, we're getting inundated with text now. It's coming from all angles. So some of these we've already gone over, but let's look at the continuation from the Miss Your Lips here. I can't quite see the green messages, but the other one is, good morning, I'm rolled up like a burrito. She says something with a kissing emoji, so probably just more smooches. And he once again says, Jesus fucking Christ, she's communicating with a man who's undergone a lobotomy. Underneath that, the next set of messages, again, I can't really read the green ones, But the message says, I know. I need that grown woman love. And then I can read this one. She says, oh, I want to give it to you. And then kissing emoji again, I guess. So then we go off to the right here. I want you lips, smooch, in my face. And he says, I am the hunted. Feel like the main actor in one of those Predator movies. What is happening? This isn't sexting. What is going on? I need that grown woman love. What? And then the out of fucking nowhere starts getting her with a Shakespearean monologue. I am the hunted. Feel like the main character in one of those Predator movies in response to her talking about giving him kisses. What is going on? I am the hunted. I am the night. I am the shadow within the shadow. You can't find me. I am Gotham's protector. It's Dark Knight.
If the texters were on duty. But in one thread on a Friday night at 10:20 p.m., Sergeant Salinas tells dispatcher Perez, I get off at midnight. Came in early.
Very hard for me to read.
It really does seem like some of this cheating happened while they were on duty, which is of course a big no-no, and what had led to a lot of the officers being fired in the last police cheating scandal. Like, the cheating is bad, and it's made even worse when they're supposed to be working and on the job.
I can imagine.
Jessica Jarvis is now divorcing a fourth sheriff's employee who is being disciplined. Investigator Jason Jarvis received a proposed suspension of 30 days.
These are people that are supposed to be protecting us, supposed to be serving, and making sure the community is safe.
To be fair, these officers still were serving up a cock meat sandwich right to Crystal's mouth, giving her that hot dog with extra wiener on it. Now, being completely honest, I really am wishing her the best with this divorce. Divorce is absolutely the right call. I know it's not going to be easy or anything, but she is making the right decision.
While details of the investigation remain secret, it does not appear anyone broke the law, but those disciplined allegedly violated sheriff's office policies.
Certainly the case is being taken seriously, and quite frankly, I believe it's quite possible that some people are going to lose their career as a result of this.
So while no laws were broken, this is still very heavily frowned upon. Not just at, like, police work, but any work. Fucking on the job is always going to usually lead to a termination or, at the very least, some kind of disciplinary action like, hey, maybe don't do that. So that's not surprising to hear at all. I'm gonna keep my eyes on this story to see how it all develops. And yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. There's been a huge update to the Justin Roiland situation. A new chapter has dropped, and man, what a plot twist this one came with. I'm sure all of you already know, but I'll just briefly bring you up to speed since it's been a couple months. It recently came to light that Justin Roiland has been secretly battling domestic battery and false imprisonment charges from his ex-girlfriend. He was accused following an incident in 2020, and since then, over the last few years, has gone to like pre-trials and hearings about the situation. And all of it was revealed earlier this year, which shocked the world and left the Rick and Morty fans thoroughly squanched. Following this news, Justin Roiland was fired from Adult Swim, he was fired from Solar Opposites, and he resigned from his development studio, Squanch Games. It was also scheduled to go into the next phase of all of this with a trial. However, today, everyone's trick hole got glorbed. It was announced that the domestic violence charges against Justin Roiland, this whole case, was dismissed. According to a spokesperson for the district attorney's office, they said, "We dismissed the charges today because there was insufficient evidence to prove the case beyond reasonable doubt." They further added that significant additional information came to light. That additional information that came to light that surfaced here in the fourth quarter with the buzzer beater to stop this from going to trial is not elaborated upon. It hasn't been made public, obviously, so we can only speculate. I have no fucking idea what it could have been. Maybe Justin Roiland sent a rough draft for Rick and Morty Season 9 to the district attorney and he loved it so much he dismissed the case on the spot. There's no telling. Nothing about the case really has ever been made public. Not even the actual incident that occurred in 2020. None of it has been made public, so a lot of this has just been through legal speak and pretty vague about the actual occurrence as well as the particulars around it. So this additional information that eventually led to the case being dismissed we don't know what it was. So because of that, it's left a lot of people on Twitter to start talking about how foul play could have been involved here, some under-the-table dealings, bribery, or things like that, corruption. I don't know about all of that. There's really no telling, since again, none of the information about any of this was ever really made public. Though I will admit, I do think it is a little odd how quickly it got thrown out once it made it into the media cycle. This has been something that's been going on for a few years now. I'm assuming there must have been some level of substantiated evidence behind the claims. Otherwise, how the fuck would it have made it this far along the legal process? I would imagine this would have got slapped down immediately if they never had any evidence in the first place, just this giant fucking nothing burger. I assume there must have been something, but now they're citing an insufficient evidence to support the claims. So I do get why people are a little heebie-jeebied about it. I do understand. And like I said in my last video, I am still surprised that Adult Swim and Solar Opposites both acted so quickly to shit-can Roiland before he was ever even found guilty on the charges. I assumed at the time that they must have had additional information that the public didn't have into the insights and the inner workings of this case, and they fired Roiland based on that. But it's looking like that wasn't the case, since he is presumably innocent now since this case has been dropped. So that leads me to believe that either they acted in order to wipe the dog shit of his reputation off of their shoe as quickly as possible as to not hurt their brand, and it was just bad optics to keep him around, or they fired him based on all of the other allegations against him, some of which were made by co-workers and still current employees of these productions. None of these have been fully confirmed, so of course take them with a grain of salt, but a lot of his co-workers have come out very strong against him, citing that he was extremely lazy and actually hadn't had an active role in the development of Rick and Morty in a long time, refusing to work, difficult to work with. And the way some other colleagues talk about him make it sound like he was an actual toddler in the office, so they'd say like they didn't even know he was in until they'd hear his dogs or his remote control toy car zooming around the office. So they describe him as just being difficult to work with and that they didn't really like his presence, which I guess may have been something Adult Swim and Solar Opposites would have taken into account. And then a lot of these degenerate DMs started leaking. Of course, none of the sources are 100% confirmed as authentic or anything. He would flirt as if he was actually fucking Morty from the show in real life, so he'd say things like insane in the membrane and like, "Auga, boobies, boobies." Like, the text messages were really fucking embarrassing. And there are even allegations that at least one of the people that he was flirting with was underage, and, you know, others were like people he had worked with before. None of it has been confirmed beyond a shadow of a doubt, like as 100% real or anything, but this was just another big shitstorm that Justin Roiland was facing in the midst of all of this, and a lot of allegations. Now, since the case has been dismissed, he has made a statement, but he doesn't address anything outside of the felonies he was facing. Roiland says, "I've always known that these claims were false, and I had never had any doubt that this day would come. I'm thankful that this case has been dismissed, but at the same time, I'm still deeply shaken by the horrible lies that were reported about me during this process. Most of all, I'm disappointed that so many people were so quick to judge without knowing the facts, based solely on the word of an embittered ex trying to bypass due process and have me cancelled. That it may have succeeded, even partially, is shameful. However, now that the legal case is ended, I'm determined to move forward and focus both on my creative projects and restoring my good name." I do think it's a little odd that he's choosing to use the word cancelled here when all of these charges were private. None of this was ever made public. The X has never come out publicly. None of the information has ever been made public. All of this was handled behind closed doors and only made it to the public eye because of some sleuthing from media outlets, I believe, since the trial was not too far into the future. If the allegations are actually false, I still don't know if cancellation would have been the motivation behind it, because I feel like if the goal was cancellation, the ex would have come forward and publicly revealed all of this information instead of trying to handle it legally. Like, that wouldn't really make sense for that goal if it was cancellation to try and handle it like behind closed doors. I feel like they would have wanted to do everything in their power to like publicly drag Justin Roiland around and talk about all of this. Now, as you can imagine, a lot of people aren't super happy about Roiland's response here, citing that he doesn't really seem to understand that even though he was able to prove his innocence to the legal system and prove at least that the charges didn't have enough evidence to support them, they weren't strong enough to lead to a conviction on the accusations, that innocence wasn't proven to the public. And in fact, the public has never even known exactly what the fuck even happened in the first place with the incident. So a lot of people took issue with him talking about how disappointed he is that people believed lies from his embittered ex, which I do agree is kind of odd because, again, there's never been any specifics about what happened or even what this whole thing is even about, other than the fact that Royland, for a few years now, has had 2 felonies that he's been fighting: domestic violence and false imprisonment. And people were talking about like, oh wow, that's pretty concerning that that's happening. Those are scary charges. So that's all people have ever had access to, and even now, after the case has been dismissed, people still don't know what the fuck was even going on to begin with. All of the evidence and everything has been kept under lock and key, so even though the charges got dropped, for a lot of people, that's not good enough since he wasn't proven innocent publicly, since none of the information is public, so a lot of people are still saying that there is a chance that there really was a victim here that was just unable to provide enough evidence to convince others that this event happened, even if it really did. So it's just been a mess. So all the public can do is look at the fact that he was battling these very serious felonies and say, fuck, that's not good. That is scary. Those aren't, light felonies by any means. That's the only information that the public has ever had access to and the only thing that they can base their perspective on. Now that the case has been dismissed, obviously that changes a bit. And if all of the allegations are truly false, then that is a crime in and of itself and should be taken very seriously. If it is proven that everything that has happened was based upon an embittered ex lying to ruin Justin Roiland's reputation and try and ruin his life, that is a very serious thing as well that also needs to be addressed. So the whole thing is just a pretty fucking horrible situation top to bottom. Again, he doesn't talk about any of the other allegations, at least not yet. I imagine he probably will going forward, especially the ones from the coworkers and the DMs. But anyway, just wanted to give a quick update on all of this, and that's about it. See ya. A few months ago, I watched what had to be one of the wildest encounters I've ever seen. This is a vigilante predator hunter group that was busting the person they were investigating in public, and this goes completely insano style. It becomes cartoonish. It's almost like a Benny Hill chase scene here. I couldn't believe what was unfolding in front of me.
I am currently looking for my fiber.
Your what?
Fiber.
Fiber?
Yeah, because I gotta poop.
You gotta poop?
I'm constipated. I've been constipated.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is a very interesting tactic. This is a high-level maneuver. He is claiming that he's not there at the meat spot for a 13-year-old boy. He's there to get some fiber so he can take a shit. He's been constipated, so he's there for some poop pills. And it doesn't take some galaxy brain genius to put together the puzzle pieces here, connect the dots, and deduce that he is on meth. He's getting loopy off that poopy right now. He is high on meth, which isn't just speculation. At the end of the video, they released their entire investigation, screenshots of all the text messages that were exchanged between this guy and who he thought was a 13-year-old, and meth comes up a lot. Even right before meeting, meth was discussed, and as you can see in the title, he was arrested, and they did pretty much confirm meth was in his system.
Hey man, I can involve the police or we can have a conversation. You want to have a conversation?
Sure.
You want to turn around and talk to me?
I gotta find this first.
Hey bro, I can call the cops right now, or we can just have a conversation.
I'm actually really constipated, sir. Please, can you actually let me get my supplements so I can actually go home, so I can poop, and actually so I can poop well?
Step 1 should have been involving the authorities the second you found a real pedophile that was trying to meet up for sex with a 13-year-old and get them smoking meth or whatever. I don't understand why that wasn't the first thing you did. Luckily, there's spoilers in the title, so you know he does get arrested, but not for the reasons of this investigation. Some crazy shit happens towards the end. Had he involved law enforcement earlier, even from the start, I feel like this could have been far more effective. It seems like the first thing he did when he identified a real pedophile was try and figure out how to monetize it and make a viral video out of it or something. Because he gets 2 different cameras out. He's got the fucking Steadicam. He's got so many cameras set up. He's got the GTA cinematic angle going on here. So it really feels like the number one concern was trying to figure out a way to monetize it. He also has calls to action in the video to subscribe to his channel. He's got the People vs. Pred watermark. This shit is branded out of the wazoo. So it does really feel like the number one thing he was looking for here was a way of making money off of the bust, which is kind of weird. It is still good that this does lead to an arrest, but I really do wish it was handled with collaboration from the actual authorities.
Can you help me find fiber pills? Can you help me find fiber pills?
Do you want me to call the cops?
Why would you want to call the cops for me when I'm trying to find my fiber pills?
I know why you're here.
Why am I here?
To meet my 13-year-old little brother.
Who is that? I don't know who that is. Who is that? I have no clue.
Christ, where are they hiding the fiber pills in this bitch? Like, goodness gracious, are they underground? This man's out here trying to locate fiber pills, and it's like trying to find pirates' buried treasure, apparently. But anyway, you can see he's really starting to tweak quite a bit now. Things are getting escalated. The man filming is starting to call the cops, which is something I feel he should have done quite a long time ago. But we're only just beginning.
Hey, buddy, is this you?
Can you please
Why do I have a picture of you? Is this
Why
you?
are you doing this to me?
Is this you? Is this a picture of you? Why do I have a picture of you?
How was this? What is it?
Why do I have a picture of you?
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
Why do I have a picture? Why do I have a picture of your ass?
Ew, 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 ew.
This guy's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for and to give him crystal
Oh
meth.
my God.
Negotiations crumble, diplomacy falls, and then things really pop the fuck off. So he shows him that he has a picture of this guy's asshole, and then we enter like the DPS check of the raid boss encounter here. So now he's chasing the pedophile around while shouting he's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for sex. The predators start shouting. Everyone in the shopping center is confused and maybe even a little frightened from this sudden explosion of yelling and all of that. And we also get close-ups of the meth molester's head, and it seems like he has a lot of dandruff. Not that that has anything to do with anything at all, it just struck me as, wow, that's a lot of dandruff. So he might want to pick up a bottle of Head & Shoulders on his way back to the poopy pill aisle.
This guy right here is here to meet a 13-year-old boy and to give him crystal meth.
Please,
okay,
sir.
what's happening?
I'm trying
Call
to
the
find
cops.
you. Do you know where the
Call the
fiber
cops.
pills are?
Call the cops.
Like I said,
This guy's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for Don't touch me.
Sir,
Don't touch me.
Why? Stop.
Don't touch me and don't put your hands in front of my camera, bro.
Stop.
Who the f are you? Stop.
The cameraman here is really coming across like a combative asshole. Obviously, the store employee doesn't know the situation. He's not fucking omniscient. All he sees is two people screaming in his store while one of them has multiple cameras set up like he's out here trying to film a 360-degree music video. So he's just trying to get in the middle of this and like, hey, can you de-escalate it? You know, take it anywhere else. And for some reason, the Predator Buster is now starting to get mad at this guy who's just doing his fucking job. Like, he's done nothing wrong. He doesn't know what's happening here. He's just trying to de-escalate the situation.
This guy's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for Get in front of my camera again, bro.
Because you're not.
Get in front of my camera again.
You don't have permission to film your camera out here.
Who the f are you?
This is.
Who are you?
You need to leave.
Hey, buddy, get the f out of my way. Get the f out of my way.
You gotta leave my store.
No, I don't. Call the cops.
This guy seems like he was closer to fighting the store employee just doing his job than he was to fighting the actual pedophile that he was there to bust. This shit is crazy.
Why is this happening?
Why are you here to meet a 13-year-old
Why
boy?
would I do such a thing?
Then leave. Go home.
Can you let me find my fiber pills?
Oh,
sir?
your fiber pills?
Where's the fiber?
Just when you thought it was starting to wrap itself up, this fucking guy goes back looking for fiber pills. He goes back to the fucking fiber pill aisle and keeps the whole song and dance going. We're in Act 2 now. It is incomprehensible the shit that is unfolding here. I can't believe that this actually is a real thing that happened and isn't some like staged, scripted fucking piece of, I don't know, fiction. It's unbelievable.
Why are you here to meet a 13-year-old boy?
Why are you here to harass me?
Why are you here to meet a 13-year-old boy?
Are you trying to prevent me? No, I'm gonna stop.
2235. Focus.
I'm a weirdo?
Yeah.
Why do I have a picture of his asshole if I'm a weirdo? Why do I have a picture of his face? Look at it. Why do I have a picture of his face if I'm the weirdo?
Some of the other people around him start calling him a weirdo. The guy filming to which he takes great offense. So he goes over to prove that he's not weird. So he goes and says, if I'm a weirdo, why do I have a picture of his asshole? Checkmate. Regular old Saul Goodman over here defending himself. I can't be weird, I have a picture of his butthole right here, look at this. He takes his phone around like it's show and tell. He passes it around saying, hey, look, I'm not weird, look, this is his anus. I don't know what the strategy is there. He could have easily explained, I'm conducting an investigation, this guy was trying to meet up with my 13-year-old brother. That's a lot more easy to understand than like, hey, I'm not weird, this is this guy's ass. Like, I don't know what the thought process was. I think he was so lost and deep in fight mode that he was just trying to like get aggressive with everybody, even just completely innocent people that didn't understand what was happening.
Trying to meet up a little kid from the internet.
I saw a comment that perfectly described how this part in the parking lot plays out. They said he's acting like he's the 13-year-old boy running away from a pedophile. And that is so accurate. He's running around like hysterically screaming and just going absolutely ballistic. He runs in a circle and then even lays on the ground for a little bit, kind of wiggling around.
Can I just go poop? Ah! Ah! Oh my God, it gets even better.
The pedophile is high on meth and operating a vehicle, and it goes about as you'd expect. He immediately peels out and fucking blasts himself like right over like a small little tree and some bushes. It really looked like it was about to take flight. That was some shit out of Need for Speed, honestly. Like, god damn.
Oh my God! Whoa, hit and run, call the police! Call the police!
Immediately after vaporizing a tree and destroying that like area of bushes, he peels out once again and manages to hit one of only two potential obstacles in the entire fucking parking lot. Someone else's car. He goes by and hits someone else's car. There is literally only two cars in this entire fucking parking lot. It is actually more impressive that he managed to hit something. Like, I don't even fathom how he could have fucked up even worse. It's unbelievable.
Just call the police, guys. I got the tags. Call the police. Call the police. Call the police. Call the cops, bro. I got the video. You don't need a video. Just call the cops. Tackle this dumb.
I always hate that fucking mentality. Hey, someone else call the police. I'm busy recording. No. I'm recording, so someone else call the police to handle this. There's only a handful of situations where that makes any sense, and that's when there's already a large group there. Then having a video of the situation can be helpful to the overall thing. So you could have one person video while someone else is calling the authorities, but in this case it was just him for the entire thing right up until the very end. He should have been the one to call the police, but didn't. And the predator makes another inexplicable decision. Instead of leaving, he instead pulls up to the front of the store he just ran away screaming from and parks it. He just drops that shit right in front of the store he just left and then gets out to try and run back into the store, which I don't understand at all. He's treating it like this was some kind of safe zone or something. And as he gets out of the car and tries to run back in the store, he gets tackled by a good Samaritan who had just seen the hit and run, and everything that unfolded in the parking lot. So he gets tackled by that guy, and it's like a Goldberg spear. That is a great form textbook tackle. And then the cops do show up to arrest him.
Yeah, that's the one thing, sir.
Come on, man.
The cops go through his things, they find a pipe, they find a lot of stuff, they arrest him for the driving, DUI. They don't seem super interested in the predator catcher's investigation and what he's talking about. They don't really pay too much attention to that. Instead, they arrest him for, of course, the way he was driving the vehicle. Now, I've mentioned this numerous times over the years. I'm not really a fan of vigilante predator hunters for the simple reason that 9 times out of 10, the pedophiles that get caught in these operations don't face any real repercussions other than like a video being made about them. But law enforcement can't use the investigations because they're less than professional, meaning the predator doesn't spend any time in the slammer, they don't go to jail, which allows them to continue preying on children in their communities. Now, I do think there are extenuating circumstances, like for example EDP. EDP may have not gone to jail, but that video that was made about him by the, fucking Gotham Knights of Predator Catchers did a great service to the whole community because it exposed him for abusing his platform, trying to meet up with children, and even if he didn't go to jail, it still took away his access to more potential victims. So overall, it was a positive thing, though ideal outcome would have been him also going to jail. In this case, the video we just watched, this predator probably would have never went to jail had he not operated the vehicle while high on meth and caused a massive commotion there and hitting multiple things. Had he not been driving that recklessly and high, he probably would have never seen any jail time for the investigation conducted by this channel. So it's just one of those things where, yes, it is good to expose the predators, but I really wish it was handled in collaboration with law enforcement, so that way not only would they be exposed publicly, they would also face the jail time associated with the crime. But yeah, anyway, this video was wild, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit today. That's about it. See ya. A few weeks ago, a big YouTuber named Quite came under fire and got put in the crosshairs of the entire internet after some extremely serious allegations were levied against him. The allegations came from one person on Twitter in particular who released a massive document that accused him of some truly heinous things. And as a result, his ham was getting steamed, they were calling him a criminal, and just like the Thornberrys, Twitter went a little wild. They were judge, jury, and executioner and decided in the court of public opinion that Quite was already guilty on everything he was charged with. So they labeled him a rapist. They were no longer allegations, all of it was presented as facts. This was as real as algebra now, and if you said like, hey, maybe let's wait to hear from the other side for a moment, you would have been labeled evil. If you even tried to utter the forbidden phrase of innocent until proven guilty, you would have been burned at the stake like it was the fucking Salem witch trials. It's also important to mention that it was more than rape too. They threw the entire kitchen sink at him. Every fucking horrible term you could imagine was all getting flushed down Quite like he was a goddamn public toilet. He was labeled many awful things, and 2 days ago he came forward to debunk the entire thing in an 1.5 hour long video, thoroughly going through every single accusation and pretty much tearing it to pieces with an incredible amount of evidence, and honestly just an incredible amount of bravery with some of the things that he publicly owns up to. Very personal, very big insecurities, such as like sexual performance and his anxiety regarding anything sexual, and even admitting to still being a virgin. There was a lot of things that he talked about here that I know for a fact couldn't have been easy, especially because now he put his face on it. Up until this point, Quite hid his face. He hid his actual identity, but because of all of these accusations, he was doxxed from it, as I understand, and he wanted to showcase how seriously he was taking everything, so he dropped the mask and the hoodie and put his real face on top of this stinky shit cake that he was served, and he just brought down the brass tacks and laid out all of the facts as well as all of the context and a significant amount of evidence supporting his claims and debunking the things that the accuser was saying. This is probably one of the strongest rebuttals I've ever seen from an internet content creator when faced with serious allegations. The way Quite has handled this is very, very impressive. And the response to it has been overwhelmingly positive in favor of Quite. Now, most people are starting to rally behind Quite and seeing a lot of the things presented by the accuser were either outright lies or manipulated half-truths or completely misleading series of accounts of situations. It's all just not looking great. And in response, they've also posted I guess what was supposed to be a receipt proving that they've seen a therapist for PTSD, I guess, but that's all really pretty shady and sketchy and also not super important to what's being discussed here. So overall, just isn't looking good for the initial accusations. And I just want to kind of talk about this whole situation, not so much the particulars of it, because that's not my place to really talk about it. If you want to see the whole situation, I highly recommend going to Quite's video to get a full grasp on all of it. What I want to talk about is the mob mentality that instantly formed against Quite while being completely against hearing his side of it or listening to anyone that wanted to wait before fully forming their opinion. Because I caught a lot of shit for not talking about it for the course of 3 weeks, saying that I was trying to silence the story of a big rapist on YouTube and all kinds of horrible things, just awful shit. And I want to just talk about that because I'm not even surprised, because the general mentality on the internet is believe all victims no matter what and don't ask questions, because everyone wants to believe the best in people. If a victim is coming forward, it's because they're legitimately a victim and everything they're saying is the truth. Every argument they're making, everything they're presenting is a fact, and it's all a 100% account of what actually happened in these situations. And it's kind of a naive way of thinking. Like, it's just extremely trusting. Like my dad. Like a week ago, my dad sent me a text saying, "Hey bud, I was playing Forza," because I got my dad into Forza. He's become quite the gamer now. I was playing Forza and I got a message from someone saying that I was really good and he wanted me to like sign up for his team or something, but I can't get the website to work. And I panicked. I was like, holy fuck, Dad, this is absolutely a scam. Don't you dare go to that site or sign up for whatever he's trying to sell on you. It's not real. And I know that was probably a tough pill to swallow for him. It probably broke his heart because he responded with like, oh, okay, maybe he didn't think I was good. And I had to reassure him. I was like, no, Dad, I'm sure that wasn't the case. You're probably clapping cheeks out there. He's just, he's not being truthful with you. You can't just immediately trust complete strangers all the time. Especially in a situation where there's multiple people involved in the situation. It's important to get all sides of it so you get a full scope, a full educated look at everything going on. There's nothing wrong with seeing someone come forward and being like, holy shit, this is terrible, I'm sorry to hear all of that, but I'd like to wait to see all the other sides involved here before I fully form an opinion on all of this. Like, it's not that I don't believe you, it's that I'd like to wait to see everything before I fully understand what was going on here. And you can still, of course, be supportive of the victim that came forward, like, wow, I'm really sorry to read all of these things, it's fucking horrible. But you don't have to immediately start getting the pitchforks and the fucking shield out ready to go fight the person that's accused without ever even hearing their side first, right? Because the sad reality is, people can lie. That includes accusers that are coming forward against somebody. They could be telling some things that aren't entirely truthful, or maybe are a little misremembered or misleading. There have been cases of people just outright making shit up in order to hurt someone that they had a falling out with. There's been an unreal amount of cases like that. And it's something that I've learned the hard way. A very quick, great example is Mick Gordon versus Bethesda. With the Doom OST, Doom Eternal OST, there was a huge hoopla, a big fucking gross meatball of controversy in terms of Mick Gordon versus Bethesda. One of the higher-ups made a Reddit post accusing Mick Gordon of being lazy. It's all his fault. The OST's kind of shitty. Mick Gordon's just awful to work with. And I believed it. I took him at face value, even though he never even really provided real evidence to support his claims. It's just one of those things of, well, why would he come forward and lie about it? I trusted him. He was in a position of power, too, where it'd be really weird to risk his entire reputation and the reputation of his company to just outright lie about one of the most beloved artists in the video game soundtrack space. So it just didn't make sense to me, so I took it at face value. Like, damn, Mick Gordon must just be a lazy asshole. And you already know how that fairy tale ends. 2 years later, Mick Gordon drops one of the fattest fuck yous of all time with an unreal amount of evidence and receipts to debunk everything that was claimed by Bethesda and highlight just how awful all of it was and who was really responsible for the shittiness of the OST. Still one of the finest pieces of reverse, like, Uno card ever. And it came 2 years later after I and many others had already fully made their judgment on Mick Gordon's character based off of one accuser. And unfortunately, history repeated itself here, and everyone accepted all of these allegations as fact based on one accuser's account of all of it. And these are life-ruining accusations, fucking rape and a ton of other horrible things. Like, those aren't goofy little silly accusations. That's not something you toss out willy-nilly like a fucking baseball. That can ruin your life. That will sink you. And people just ran with it. Didn't ask questions. Didn't care to hear Quite's side of anything. Everything Quite did, they criticized. Like, I think he took down his Discord server, and they took that as a deeper admission of guilt. Everything that happened only confirmed the accusations must be real. Everything that didn't happen, the longer Quite waited, the more and more people were convinced that everything was truthful there because he's taking so long to respond. The guilt must be weighing him down. He's a rapist. And they kept pushing that everywhere. Twitter, all over the place. And now he's responded, and the shoe's on the other foot. A lot of the people that were calling him a rapist have at least publicly eaten shit on it and apologized to him, which is nice. Not all of them. There's some holdouts there that just still outright refuse to even listen to him, which is always the worst fucking mentality ever, where, oh, I heard one side, I don't want to hear the other, doesn't matter what you say, I will always think this way of you. Those fucking losers grind my ass so hard because it's clear you don't care about the truth, you just want somebody to hate, and this has given you a perfect excuse to hate someone. You have a new villain to attack, because you didn't even want to hear the side that would offer more of an insight and help you get closer to the truth of the situation. It didn't fucking matter to you. You just want to stay mad forever and continue to live this miserable life of finding people to hate online and having this list of people that you feel justified to attack and say horrible things to and about. It's fucking tragic. I hate that shit. But luckily, that's not everyone. That's only a small group of people that are for some reason still adopting that mindset. But yeah, anyway, just kind of wanted to talk about all of this because it's a pretty awful situation that I thought was worth going over at least a little bit. That's about it. See ya. This week, Rick and Morty fans got jump scared with some of the worst news they've received since the Szechuan sauce riots of 2017. God rest all those lost souls. With some very serious, troubling news that broke about Justin Roiland. He was arrested on felony domestic violence charges as well as a false imprisonment charge for an incident that took place in 2020. Now, much like everyone else, I was very surprised by this news. I think most people were shocked. This isn't a situation where there was a lot of people wiggling a finger saying, "I told you so, you should have listened to us." This was something that caught most people off guard. These are serious charges he's facing, and a lot of people, myself included, were also confused on what a false imprisonment charge is in this situation, because I think most of us assumed that was something that only a law enforcement officer or someone in that position could be charged with, so I had to look it up myself. And to be fair, you have to have a pretty high IQ to understand false imprisonment charges, so in this case, he's being charged with false imprisonment by way of menace, violence, fraud, and or deceit, which bumps this from a misdemeanor up to a felony. It levels up the charge here. It goes plus ultra, and it basically boils down to keeping someone against their will by intimidating them, scaring them, threatening them, what have you. So it's a very serious thing. That's not some like joke charge by any means. And of course, the domestic violence charge is the one that catches most people's eye because that is just fucked up. Especially because it's a domestic battery with corporal injury. Now, the victim here is an anonymous person who is remaining a Jane Doe for this case. A lot of the details of this case are being kept private and won't be released to the public. But basically, it was someone that Justin Roiland was dating at the time, and this incident occurred in 2020. He pled not guilty to the charges, also posted a $50,000 bail. And this has been an ongoing legal battle ever since. He's gone to very many hearings about this. He recently went to a pre-trial. The trial date hasn't been set yet, but this is a very serious case which carries real jail time, should he be found guilty on all of these charges. Now, Justin did plead not guilty, and his legal team seems very confident, stating, "It's hard to overstate how inaccurate the recent media coverage of this situation has been. To be clear, not only is Justin innocent, but we also have every expectation that this matter is on course to be dismissed once the district attorney's office has completed its methodical review of the evidence. We look forward to clearing Justin's name and helping him move forward as swiftly as possible." So they seem to believe that this will just be dismissed pretty soon. I am a little confused on what inaccuracies they're talking about when people are just saying like, hey, this is going on at the moment, which is kind of provable, right? Like, he did get charged with these things, he just hasn't been found guilty of them. I'm all for shitting on journalists and the media coverage of things. They can gargle the dirtiest part of my butthole, but in this case, they're kind of just stating like, this is an ongoing thing, which it is, which you're also confirming. So I don't exactly know what specific inaccuracies is being referred to here, but it is important to note that he has not been found guilty on these charges or anything like that at the moment. This was actually just the first of many dominoes to fall in a very bad week for Justin Roiland and for just general fans of his work. A lot of news was breaking about Justin Roiland having a pretty predatory past in terms of how he talks to fans through DMs and shit. None of the text messages and DMs that have been leaking have been completely confirmed as real or verified as of the moment, so I won't really bother showing them. They are turbo cringe, and I, again, don't know if they're real or not, but they're out there. There's a lot of them as well. But one thing that is confirmed is that his game studio, Squanch Games, did actually have to settle a sexual harassment lawsuit back in 2019. No, that's news to me. Justin Roiland had some more shit come out today. Uh-oh. That's no good. He's gonna need a Mr. Meeseeks out there ASAP to do some damage control. Also, it just came out that Squanch Games was sued in 2018 for sexual harassment, discrimination, and wrongful termination. Goodness gracious. Jeez, Rick. Oh, yeah. Justin Roiland's Squanch Games quietly settled a sexual harassment lawsuit in 2019. Oh boy, Rick. Sounds like things were getting a little too swifty over at Squanch Games. That's no good. Yeah, they glorbed right out of the trick hole on that one, huh? Jesus Christ. All of this coming out all at once with Justin Roiland. The floodgates are fully opened. Overall, the whole situation's extremely sad. Even if you don't like Justin Roiland, this isn't something to celebrate. This isn't something that anyone should want to see. Because if he's found guilty on these charges, that means there was a very real victim who suffered greatly. And that's horrible. Now, I'm not a huge Justin Roiland fan these days. I don't dislike Rick and Morty. I haven't watched it in a couple years, but I always enjoyed it. I just haven't really felt like watching it recently. But I didn't like High on Life. I dropped it after a few hours. The writing just became an actual headache. And I'm no fan of fourth wall breaking. I don't find it extremely comedic. So when you like press pause in the beginning of the game and then you unpause and it's like, you just paused the game? You just paused the game during a firefight? Are you dumb? How could you just pause the game? You just paused the game during this gunfight? Oh man, we got a real stupid guy here because you just paused the game during a firefight because you weren't thinking, pausing the game. I can't believe you paused the game. Just droning on and on and on. I couldn't deal with it. So I didn't really like High on Life, but I did like Rick and Morty. And I'd say on the whole, I was pretty tired of that just over-explaining every single joke, stuttering on every single joke. It very much wore off on me, and I stopped enjoying the shtick. So even still, as someone who's not the biggest fan of his recent works, I don't want him to have been someone that beat and falsely imprisoned the person that they were dating. And if he did do that, I'm hoping the victim gets the help they need to get through this situation, because that shit is traumatic, I imagine. So I'm wishing them the absolute best. It would be a disservice and downright criminal of me not to mention the memes that have spawned from this whole situation. With so many people being pretty tired and exhausted of Justin Roiland's style of writing, as well as High on Life being extremely divisive, people have taken the opportunity to just go hog wild, making jokes about all of this. You know, referencing Pickle Rick, talking about how this is the wrong Justin Roiland. The Justin Roiland that's, you know, being talked about with this domestic violence charge is actually Justin Roiland of Universe C-137. That's Felon Roiland. Shit like that. Just a non-stop waterfall of memes. A lot of people have wondered if he is found guilty, what it means for the future of Rick and Morty. It's such a cash cow. A lot of people, like myself, think that they'd probably try and continue it without him, but then it would just slowly whittle away and die. Just slowly ferment and rot. Because not only is he the main voice actor for Rick and Morty, he is also a writer on it. So if he is found guilty, I don't know how you replace him. The show's quality would be in the shitter. and it'd fall off really hard. But I do think they would try and continue it without him, but it wouldn't be successful. That would be my thought if he's found guilty here. But of course, the main thing to focus on isn't necessarily the future of Rick and Morty. It's on whether or not someone was truly beaten and falsely imprisoned by this guy, because that is absolutely fucking horrible. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of go over this situation a little bit here, since it's one I've been glued to for the last few days to see any new developments and what's going on with the whole thing. It's a pretty sad set of circumstances overall, and yeah, just wanted to talk about it a bit. That's it. See ya. This is going to be pathetic to say out loud, but I was about to go to bed, but then just kept thinking about a tweet that I read 3 days ago that's just been living in my head rent-free, and I got upset again. It's like an itch that I have to keep scratching. It doesn't go away. You know how a lot of people will get into like a minor argument or see something or hear something that makes them upset, and then they'll start replaying that moment in their head over and over again while they're in the shower, coming up with the perfect responses and comebacks to it, and just have like this full-blown debate in their own mind about it? That's what I keep doing with this tweet that I read 3 days ago. It's not even a big deal either, but it just keeps crawling under my skin. It's like that scene in The Mummy where that little scarab thing goes into that guy's body and just keeps crawling around. That's what this tweet is doing to me. It's fucking eating me alive. I just keep replaying in my head the time that I read that and every thought that I keep having about it. So I'm just gonna make a whole video talking about it. I made a tweet vaguely addressing it. I'm not going to show the tweet itself for obvious reasons. I don't want anyone to harass the people that were involved in the thread. So let's go ahead and stuff this turkey. To break it down into a nutshell, the thread was arguing that teabagging in video games is sexual assault and traumatizing. They even briefly told a story that they watched their teammate get teabagged and it completely ruined them. Also, a quick shout out to the Galaxy Brain, Harvard scholarship winning, Millennium math problem solving turbo genius that came into the thread to make a little cameo and say that it's a necrophilic act that should be criminalized. Hey, big ups there, buddy. Where do I even begin? Chapter 1. It's a fucking video game. It's not real. It's not used in a sexual way or with any actual sexual context to it. No one's teabagging their opponent in a game and then ejaculating into their britches about it. Unless, of course, they're extremely happy that they outplayed somebody or something. No one's gonna get teabagged and feel violated, or at least they shouldn't if they're grounded in reality. You can feel mad that you're getting teabagged, like, damn, not only did I get my fucking cheeks spread open, but now I'm also getting teabagged by this douchebag. You can be mad about that because that's the whole point. It's a taunt. Also, the purpose of a teabag isn't even sexual in nature. It's just a form of taunting. It's no different than in Fortnite busting out an emote when you clap cheeks, just getting you with one of these, and then hitting the old default dance in Orange Justice or whatever. That's the same thing that teabag is used for in games that don't have emotes that allow you to do it. And in Fortnite, I'm sure it happens too, because it's just a classic taunt. It's supposed to be tilting. That's why so many games have so many tools for it, whether they're emotes or maybe even sprays. Like, let's say, God forbid, you've made some mistakes and you're still playing Overwatch, but you make a good play in Overwatch and you're feeling good, so you spray sorry on the ground right next to your victim. Now they see that and now they're upset. You've taunted them. There's just so many ways of taunting, and teabagging is one of them in games that don't typically have it. For example, Halo. Halo doesn't have any emotes. You're not going to see Master Chief busting out the gritty after getting a kill to taunt you. All you can do in Halo for taunting is the teabagging. So if someone wants to be toxic or try and put you on tilt and ruin your mentality during the game and make you upset, they'll teabag you instead of using an emote like they would in Fortnite or something. But it's not sexual. They're not going over there and being like, can't wait to dip my fucking greasy, filthy sack on this person's face and make them feel all yucky and violated. Ooh, I have so much power over you and I'm so dominant. Look at me drop my scrotum on your mouth. No one's doing that. They're doing it as a, just killed you, now I'm gonna make you feel silly. Here comes a taunt. If you truly believe that teabagging is the equivalent to real-world sexual assault, then you should also believe that shooting and killing in those games is equivalent to real-world murder. But most people don't believe that because it's a fucking video game. It's in the cyberspace, goddammit. No one's actually getting murdered in Fortnite or Roblox or anything like that. When you shoot and kill someone in Roblox, no one has actually died except for some fucking pixels on the screen. But for some reason, that same basic level of logic doesn't apply to the teabag in Valorant, I guess. It doesn't make any sense to me. Now, I want to make it clear. For a lot of games, they really discourage teabagging, but not because they think it's sexual assault, but because it's poor sportsmanship. So I know Killer Instinct, for example, has banned it. Killer Instinct is a fighting game, and I don't know if they still have it banned, but I do remember there was a time where it was banned, and in Killer Instinct in the fighting game, if you crouch up and down a lot after beating your opponent, Killer Instinct would ban you from competitive play, at least as I recall it. So that's totally fine. If you don't want people to be taunting or being disrespectful, then by all means, ban the teabagging and the emoting and the shooting of bodies after killing them. I think that's fine. You're totally within your right to do that. I'm not arguing that everyone needs to be taunted and teabagged every time they're killed. I'm just making the simple, sane argument that getting teabagged in a video game is not getting sexually assaulted in real life. Now, to go a bit further, I do think there is a bit of merit to the claim that in VR chat or virtual reality things are a bit different. There are some creepy fucking dudes in VR chat, and I absolutely think that there is potential and have been a couple of examples of really creepy dudes getting very handsy. Handsy is a term I'm using loosely because it's VR, but getting really weird and up in people's face and personal space in the virtual world, and I do think that can border on sexual harassment and can actually make people feel violated because you are really like in there. VR is a pretty different experience than to like a Valorant. So I can absolutely understand and sympathize with someone that might go into virtual reality space and encounter some grimy, grody, Cheeto-dusted, fingered, shit-stained, underweared, mouth-breathing, creepy guy that follows them around and makes disgusting remarks about how he's touching himself while also touching your avatar in the game, never leaving you alone, and just being all up in your shit, then yeah, I completely agree that is like actual sexual harassment and all of that. But that's completely different than watching your teammate get teabagged in Valorant. I can absolutely see someone being deeply disturbed by having an encounter with someone like that in virtual reality, but I can't see anyone actually believing that watching a teabag in Valorant is watching real sexual assault and being traumatized by it. That is just so unbelievably silly to me. It really is. This just screams like it was somebody looking for something to make an issue out of, and they thought that this would be low-hanging fruit that some people would agree with them on, and some people did, but overall, I think most people can recognize that there's a massive difference between a video game taunt and a real-world, traumatic, life-ruining experience. It's so disgusting to me, honestly, to even compare a Valorant teabag to a legitimate sexual assault event. It just feels so vile to take something that serious and bring it down to this level and make it so petty. It blows my mind. This is just something that rubbed me the wrong way since the second I started reading the thread. Obviously, it's been 3 fucking days that it's just been marinating in my brain, so much so that I've now made an entire video ranting about it. But yeah, that whole thread did actually spark a couple of news outlets picking it up and saying that there's a debate on whether or not video game teabagging is actual sexual assault. And I think that's such a disingenuous representation of what happened. It wasn't a debate. It was some people with the worst takes of all time, and then most people employing common sense that no, teabagging in a video game is not equivalent to a real-world sexual assault. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit and just get it all out of my system. That's about it. So yeah.